everyone, welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I am your host, Stan Rattan, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show, where I help you spend your wine dollars wisely. We're continuing with the theme of Washington Wine Month. I remember last episode we tasted Washington Cab Franc in the blind format. That was kind of fun to see how those turned out, and it was kind of cool because one of my favorite Cab Francs came out on top. Go figure. We're doing red blends from Washington State. We're not doing them in the blind format because they're entirely different in style. But red blends are a huge category, as you know. It all started in France with Bordeaux, where they blend Cab Merlot, Cab Franc, Petit Verdot, Malbec, and Carmenere. Well, not Carmenere anymore. Anyway. And then, of course, California does a lot of red blends. Australia does some. Washington State does a lot, as well as California. So it's a very popular category. People like it because many times the red blends tend to be a little bit more approachable. They can be drunk early. They're not necessarily made to age, but some of them will, of course. We know that. Things like Apothic Red, Menage a Trois, the other red from Purano Estates. So those are all big red blends. Hot to Trot from Chateau Ste. Michelle, huge. So red blends are big. So we're going to do 3 red blends from Washington State. So let's get started right off the bat. This is a Columbia Winery red blend. It's a blend of Merlot and Syrah. Very interesting choice there. This is non-vintage. I looked all over the label, could not find a vintage. Columbia Valley. Sean Rains is a winemaker. He even gets the alcohol down here at what, 13.9, something like that. Okay. $14. And they've revamped their label. They started out with just a big C. I don't know if you guys remember that. They were bought out by Gallo. Gallo now owns Columbia Winery, which was originally with David Lake, very famous Washington winemaker. Now it's owned by Gallo, which don't let that be a problem for you. Gallo's very good at purchasing properties and letting them roll on their own. But David Lake passed away. They have a winemaker, Sean Rains. Let's see what we get on the nose. Very, very curious about this because they've kind of taken a little bit of a different approach. The first series of wines I tasted, I think I reviewed on YouTube way back in the 100s, and they were very old world in style. So let's see how these turn out. Almost like it reminds me of those hoses for radiator hoses. You know how they smell, brand new, straight out of the auto body shop, auto parts store, excuse me. Getting a little bit of that with some, kind of a little bit of a dusty rock component coming through. I get like a red berry component. Maybe a little bit of pomegranate / blackberry / raspberry. With a little bit of licorice. Let's see what we get on the palate. Is that better? Can't see me spit? Okay. I like this wine a lot. This is like one of those wines that you could recommend to anyone. The price is right, 14 bucks. It has chocolate big time on the palate. I'm still tasting chocolate covered cherries on the palate. Very seamless. It has a little bit of edginess to it, so it's not entirely there's nothing flabby about this wine. It's just a solid, tasty little red. What can I say? There's a little meat marinade component coming through right on the back of the mid palate into the finish. I get a little tobacco, a lot of chocolate, as I already said. I get that nice kind of cherry blackberry thing going on. Very seamless, but a little edgy. A little edgy. I always like to see that. I don't like them to see just... I do like polish, don't get me wrong. As you know, Curlew Cellars, Ryan Crane he has just this vibrant, pure fruit going in his wines. This is one of those wines that everybody's going to like. You plop this on your table, I would doubt, seriously doubt, unless my buddy Dick Grout's at the table, I seriously doubt that anybody would complain. They would all love it. It would be gone in a heartbeat. This is one of those dangerous wines. You open it, you start drinking it, you're looking over, you go, really? Seriously? It's already gone? A little bit of tobacco on the back end. This has some nice complexity to it. I'm actually quite surprised, not surprised as much as impressed. It doesn't taste fake at all, there's no fake. It's just kind of really nice little red. Not super complex, but enough going on to keep you interested, for sure. It has good fruit, but it's in balance with the acidity and the structure and the tannins, so it's all there. I like it. I'm gonna go B, straight up B. I like it. Very good wine. Let's move on. 2015, Ryan Patrick, Rock Island Red, Columbia Valley, 14.5 alcohol. Let's give it a little rinse. A little pissed off at these guys. They do not put anything about the varietals inside. You know how I feel about that. I think all of you, would you agree? Make a comment, please. Do you want to see at least what's in there? I don't care if it, like they didn't put percentages. By the way, yes, I did. They didn't put percentages. They just told you there's Merlot and Syrah in there. Good enough for me. I do like to see percentages, but it's not required. Just put something on there. Come on, Butch, Jerry. Let's do it. But I had to look it up on Wine Search. It says your typical Bordeaux blend, Cab Merlot, Cab Franc. Could be something else. I don't know. There you go. I didn't look it up on their website. Probably could have done that, but it just kind of pisses me off when they don't put at least something on the label. This rolls in at $16 to $17. Okay, Ryan Patrick. They were bought out by Milbrandt a while ago. One of the children that is named Ryan or Patrick, can't remember which one, died in a car accident. It was very tragic. The family kind of lost interest in the winery a little bit. So Butch and Jerry, who are friends of the family, bought the winery. They've been running it ever since. They have a new winemaker. I don't know what her name is. It might be probably the winemakers that make up the whole Milbrandt family, which has changed quite a bit. Josh left, Emily left. Somebody came in. Jeremy used to be the winemaker for Rock Island. He's gone somewhere else, so I don't know. It's all discombobulated, but I still love Milbrandt wines. Let's see what we get on the nose. Oh, lots of licorice. Loads of licorice. Kind of perfumed. You know, I get if you stepped in the shower and somebody bought a bar of perfumed licorice soap. That's what it reminds me of. There's some tobacco. There's definitely a currant cherry thing going on. And a little bit of bark, like a little bit of beauty bark. Let's see what we get on the palate. I like this wine. It's got a lot of depth to it. I mean, it's very layered wine, but very smooth, kind of polished, but a little edgy, just like the Columbia Valley. This has some depth to it, though. This has some lushness to it. This has the delicious factor times 3. I get licorice. I get a little bit of bark. I get cherries. I get dark cherries. I get currants. Get a little bit of boysenberry, marionberry coming through. A lot of stuff going on in this wine. I like it. I like 15 vintage. I've been talking about that. I really like it. Big hit of fruit up front, but never goes like over the top like a big massive Zinfandel or anything. It immediately gets knocked down by some tobacco, some beauty bark notes, a little bit of spice action coming through there, but still remains that kind of polished, edgy flavor in your mouth. And on the back end, you get a little bit of that spice action. It's 14.5 alcohol. I do not get that in it. Maybe a little bit on the back end, but it's very polished, very nice. And that boysenberry / blackberry / marionberry / cherry kind of hangs on the back end with a little bit of licorice coming through. Very well made wine. And then a little bit of like a violet thing coming through on the backside. Very nice job. For 16, 17 bucks, I think you're really going to like this wine. I think this is a lot of wine. This is a mass appeal sort of wine. This is one of those wines that I call an 80%er. I think 80% of the people that are going to try it are going to like it. I think even some of my old world buddies might lean towards either one of these. Boy, that's hanging on. That is hanging on. I'm going to go B. I'm going to go A- straight up. Solid wine. Solid wine. Let's move on. 2015 Thurston Wolf. Dr. Wolf's Family Red. Horse Heaven Hills, Washington State. This rolls in at $15. And it is, before I show a close-up, I love this. Shout out to Thurston Wolf for doing this. I appreciate it very much. It is 48% Zin, 34% Petite Syrah, 11% Lemberger, or Blaufränkisch, as it is called, and 7% Grenache. There you go. $15. Just a straight up plain old label. Give it a little rinse. Washington State had a tough 2017 vintage. I've been reading about it. Their crop is down like, I said, like 20% around there. They had a little bit of freezing going on that shortened the crop a little bit. In the long run, it won't mean anything. Don't worry about it. We'll have to see what the quality levels are like at 15. We'll just wait and watch because Washington State, I think I mentioned this before, has very few bad vintages. Very few. I think it was 04. They had a big freezing wall. They lost a lot of their fruit. So that wasn't a great vintage for them. But the rest of the valley had great results in 04. 11 was a little bit tough, but I'm seeing 11s now coming out really strong. In fact, I have 11 back in the bar there. They got to try because they've been kind of hung on that one, so they're going to drop the price a little bit. I'm kind of excited to try that because 11s are really starting to show themselves now. All right, let's see what we get on the nose with the Thurston Wolf. Again, a little perfumed. I'm getting like perfumed currants. A little bit of dirt coming through. Okay, very interesting, like dried dirt. Tobacco. Just a hint of like, I get just a little bit of a rose petal action coming through. Let's see what we get on the palate. You can tell this has Zin in it. For you that are Zin fans, and I'm a Zin fan, I like Zin. I really do like Zin because there's times that you know how I know I like Zin? There's none in my cellar because I drink them. Now every once in a while you have that kind of like a sweet tooth. Of course I don't eat chocolate cake or some dessert or cupcakes or whatever, but I will reach for a Zinfandel just to get that hit. This has a big boysenberry, marionberry flavors and underlying currants. Nice, juicy fruit, but not over the top. And I say that because, sometimes the Zinfandel can be too big. I'm curious about the alcohol level on this one. It is 14.5, not terrible. I can't taste it in the wine. A little bit of chocolate coming through. Interesting underlying tobacco notes kind of give this a nice balance. Very delicious. I would put this at 10 in the delicious category as well. Those rose petals I was talking about, like chocolate dipped rose petals, if you can imagine that. That's kind of what I'm getting on the back end, with a little bit of currants coming through, and of course the kind of Marionberry, boysenberry action. Sweet tannins for sure, and a little bit of chocolate on the backside. Definitely getting the chocolate. Definitely getting chocolate notes. Yeah, you really get that kind of almost like a leathery grip right on the backside. Very sweet tannins coming through. It has a really nice sweetness on the finish. Yeah, this is definitely one of those wines everybody's going to go, wow, I really like this. And the price is good. I mean, it's, you know, 15 bucks. You don't see a lot of Zin out of Washington State. I know Mary Hill does a Zin. Thurston Wolf does a Zin. And they do it really well, actually. There's just a certain spots in the Columbia Valley where they can grow it. You know, Zin's a tough grape to grow. Really needs the heat units. And they do a good job. Yeah, I like it. I'm going to go B+, A- on that wine. I like it a lot. I think some of you that, if you don't like a wine that leans towards the fruity side, you might not like it, but I think it's a very solid wine. Good complexity, good fruit, nice layers, good structure, everything about it I like. There you go. Thanks for taking just a little bit of time out of your day. See, I didn't forget this time. Just a little bit of time out of your day to watch this. I'm going to try and shorten up the end because Alan, once again, comes to me, and I really appreciate it, Alan. Even though I give you attitude sometimes, I need to shorten up that finish so that you can see it's less minutes on the actual time of the show. I appreciate that. Also, subscribe to my channel. Easy to do. Just hit the subscribe button, and you'll subscribe to my channel. Believe it or not, that makes me feel good. Makes me feel good. I've got some more subscribers now, but it also helps me on YouTube. I'm not making any money on it. I just enjoy doing it, but I still like to see the subscribers. So subscribe, then you'll find out when my YouTube videos are coming out. You keep watching, and I'll keep helping you spend your wine dollars wisely.